So my next item I'm going to show is another one with fiber. So this is going to be the chocolate cereal dessert. I think this is one of those things where people first hear about our plan. They say, well, you can have a chocolate dessert. That doesn't sound like it's a weight loss plan. But the fact of the matter is you can. It just needs to be the right type of chocolate. So I have here, actually, I'm going to show our beginning. I'm actually going to show you actually how to prepare something that we call the iDiet chocolate cereal dessert. And for anyone that received an invite, you also received as an attachment a cookbook. And if you haven't, if you go to theidiet.com, you can download the cookbook. And this is one of the items in the cookbook. So I have here the starting ingredients for an iDiet chocolate cereal dessert. And it's pretty simple, actually. You're going to go ahead and take 1/3 of a cup of high fiber cereal. And you're also going to take 1 square of good dark chocolate. For example, I'm using...
It's there next to the cereal bun.
I'm using Lindt. So like the most traditional, you can get it at any single grocery store you can possibly find. And I like the 85% dark cocoa. You could probably start with the 70 and move your way up to the 85. But the 85, the darker the cocoa or the more percent cocoa, the better for you. So if I could just get the overhead camera, what you're going to do is you're going to get 1/3 of a cup of high fiber cereal, and then one of these squares of this nice dark chocolate. One of these squares is going to equal about 100 grams, and the majority of the nice chocolates, it's going to all be the same. So you know you're good with the 1 square. And you're actually going to put this in the microwave. What I would recommend, because frankly, if you put it on 40 seconds, for example, you could possibly burn the cereal. So I usually do it for about 20 seconds, take it out, kind of play around with it, see if it's melting a little bit, go for another 10 seconds. And by the time I get to about 40 seconds, it'll be melted. And the end product is going to look a little like this. So as you can see, we did this a couple hours ago, so it's kind of solidified a little. But it looks like it was actually designed to be chocolate fiber cereal. And then if you kind of rehydrate a little bit by adding 1/3 of a cup of milk, this is going to change to somewhat of a chocolate milk consistency. It's going to look just like chocolate milk. And it's going to be a really, really delicious dessert. It's not going to be the sweetest, but actually, believe it or not, the Fiber One cereal is a little sweet. And that mixed with a little bit of sweetness from the chocolate makes this a fairly sweet dessert. But more importantly, after you eat this, about 20 minutes later, you're going to feel full because of all the fiber that's in the Fiber One.
And people really like this. I like this. One thing I do, I used to crave grasshopper cookies. And it was just something I couldn't keep in my house, so because I couldn't control them. I was adding a couple of drops of mint essence on top of that, and I got my chocolate mint fix that way. And it also helped my cravings disappear because I was getting that, that very unique flavor combination from something that wasn't causing cravings.
That's a really good point. I'm glad Dr. Roberts mentioned that. So you can add a couple of drops of mint, and it changes the taste completely of the cereal dessert. That's actually something a lot of people might go through most of our program and not do. But adding mint is a really good idea. You just need a couple of drops.
Yeah. One thing, there's so much, negative stuff about sugar in the media right now that I thought we might say, well, chocolate does have sugar. And my take on sugar is that, sure, we shouldn't be eating lots of sugar. But at the same time, I don't think it's poison either. And a few grams here and there is not going to be harmful for anyone. So we take an attitude that, yes, we want people to end up on a low sugar diet. That's one of the reasons that we say artificial sweeteners are a good bridge to a low sugar diet for those who feel comfortable with that. But when you get a tiny bit of sugar in something like chocolate, it's totally fine. It's not something you have to freak out about.